Before we begin, I want to say, I'm sorry for saying Chara is the player in some of my Chapter 2 theories. I did not fully understand the lore then, and I've come to a different conclusion. So, here's the thing. I'm thinking a lot of people came to this conclusion after Chapter 4, but I think it's also good to put it in video form. In Undertale, we are not Frisk. In Undertale, we are not Chara. In Undertale, it's not even clear if we are exactly the same thing as the Red Soul. So, what is Chara, and why is Chara so closely connected to the player, if Chara is not the player? Well, here's a thought. What if Chara is the same thing in Undertale as Gaster was in Deltarune? I think the Deltarune fandom is pretty firmly convinced Gaster is sort of the dungeon master of Deltarune, this character associated with devil imagery that sets up an experience for the player to interact with their world. Over my series of videos, I've discussed that Gaster is probably in the deepest darkness of Deltarune, the Titan's darkness, and he essentially serves as one interpretation of what would happen if the devil succeeded in his goal to try and become God. If the devil became a being of godlike power, he would make his own stories, his own prophecies, treat the people of the world like his toys. However, he would eventually get really bored and reach out to a higher power, people in the real world, to play a game so he doesn't suffer of boredom. His personality's not one-to-one with the devil, it's Toby's own character, but it's clear he holds a similar role and bears similar imagery for the sake of narrative parallel. As for me, I believe this is essentially what Chara is. Chara claims to hold sway over the video game stats. Every good feeling we get when LV, EXP, G, and whatever else go up, that's Chara. Chara claims to be the demon that comes when you call its name, the demon we get to name at the beginning of the game. To me, this is very similar to how we know game pieces which somehow relate to Gaster, things he created, are all in capital letters. Love could be something Chara made and named. LV is what Chara sees as love, the love of a game. However, love is just a thing that exists, regardless of Chara's interpretation. It creates this scenario where a capitalized word could either be capitalized for emphasis, or it could be one of these dungeon masters' dual meanings. So, I'll try to go in chronological order here, and the first thing I'd like to discuss is naming Chara. We get to name Chara. But notice, it doesn't say name yourself, it says to name the fallen human. However, if you name the human Chara, the game says this is the true name, and you can no longer rename the human on a repeat playthrough. This, to me, makes it feel like Chara's trying to hide their true name, but if they find out you found out, they'll stop hiding it. Think about the way Spamton speaks. His bracketed speech patterns could be seen as a form of censorship. I think this might be what's going on with Undertale. Chara will take whatever word you give to replace every instance of their name in the game so it stays censored. So, Chara died. The biggest unanswered question of Undertale is why Ascari did not absorb Chara's soul. 7 more humans had to fall before Undertale begins, the blue one, the orange one, the other blue one, the green one, the purple one, the yellow one, and the red one. So what happened to Chara's soul? Well, we can infer from the coffin that Chara has a red soul, a determination soul. Now, there are 2 possibilities. Either, it's completely missing. Or, Chara's soul is the red soul trapped in Gaster's lab. Either way, Ascari doesn't know where it is. I can 100% see Gaster stealing Chara's soul and locking it up in the lab. That might not be the case, the red soul could be an artificial soul, but I could see Gaster stealing the soul as part of a weird experiment. Either way, much like Gaster entered Big Hell, I think Chara probably went to Big Hell somehow and got some level of control over the universe. Maybe this happened when Chara died, maybe this happened if Gaster stole the soul, I don't know. Now, because we have more determination, we have more power. It's part of the reason I think the player is the only one capable of changing fate in Deltarune. Still, Chara has a devil-like control over the world, a lot like Gaster does in Deltarune. Similarly to how I think Gaster played with Chris before us, I think Chara played with Flowey before us. Flowey mentions that Chara is his favorite person to play with, and that might even be why Flowey Ferduin slips and calls us Chara in the true pacifist ending. Whether or not Flowey was aware Chara was playing with him is unclear. It's true that somehow, our power awakens Chara from death. Perhaps it's due to our sheer level of determination being that close to the corpse, maybe it's due to monster dust falling on Chara's coffin. Either way, in Genocide, Chara is able to take further control over the narration box. As for me, I think Frisk is the true narrator, and Chara takes over in red text during Genocide route. It's sort of the idea that the Genocide route is handing Frisk over to this demon as we start to align more and more with their desires. The existence of Chara as a devil figure doesn't negate our evil, it just exists as a personification of temptation for us. We still gave in, we still gave Frisk's body and soul over to Chara. Now, this is a much simpler view of a devil-like dungeon master. Whereas Gaster probably has an unholy delta with him, knight, and device friend, I don't think Chara does. I think Chara is just a Unitarian devil figure in Undertale. It's also possible Chara might be half asleep throughout this whole adventure, whereas Gaster is constantly aware. A bit of a short video, but I think this ties up some of the loose endings of Chara's mysterious appearance in Undertale, and how we are neither of the fallen humans. We're more like Frisk's time dad.